Oof. I remember when this was the most hyped event of all time, and everybody was rushing out to get it. I couldn't get the issues of it. Like, you had to wait for second and third prints because this was going to be the new storytelling for DC that's going to change everything forever. You know how the events go. Well, I reread it recently for a book club, and this is going to be my review about it. And does it hold up? We'll find out shortly. My name is John Delarose. I'm a #1 best-selling author and an award-winning comic creator. I've got all my links in the description below if you want to check out my work. I would appreciate it if you like my thoughts on books. You'll probably like my books. That's what I think. This is Identity Crisis by Brad Meltzer, who is a novelist who got into comics with this basically, and Rags Morales, who's a pretty standard artist that's been on a lot of things. And I like the art quite a bit through this. This is one of those like things, and it's like they hire a novelist, and the novelist really like when I've seen this a lot when novelists get into comics, and I've done it. I've been into comics for a while from that perspective, but there's a lot of overwriting that goes on. Novelists really think you got to express things with a lot of words. That's not how comics work. So there's a lot of setup here, and there's just a lot of introduction for this first issue that takes forever to get through. It is just the worst pacing I've ever seen in a comic. I can't believe this was hyped this bad. I guess like they wanted their superhero line to be more literary like Watchmen at the time, and so they look at you just see all the word bubbles everywhere. Holy crap. Introducing far too many characters in the Justice League, and they're all kind of just sitting there. And what happens is the wife of one of them gets killed here, the elongated man here. So here she is. She's all beat up and killed, and she's DED. So that's really where the story starts. You see how many pages we're into it, and that's where the story starts. And now there's this whole conspiracy that's like being developed, and they're all thinking about it, and they're all reacting to it now. It takes forever to get them to react to it. Like I said, the figures are nice. I mean, this sucks. I mean, Regs Morales had to draw this huge crowd scene. That's a pain in the butt for a comic artist to do. But the figures all look nice. I like Regs Morales' art fine. It's just a lot of standing around and talking. And so they believe that there's a villain who has been put up to this, and they're going to go track him down as the Justice League. And here he is. And here's some of the background of it. And they're telling this background story, and this is where it goes really off the rails. So even though there's been a lot of not much happening, no action, and there's almost no action in this entire book. It's just all talking and detective work, which is not a good superhero storyline. But beyond that, like here we have our villain who like is getting all crazy, and what happens? They stop him. This is in the past, and then all of them get together and determine they're going to wipe his memory and just like make him into this dumb villain now, and that's exactly what happens. Dr. Light is the guy's name. And so he's become this crazy, stupid villain since then because they wiped his memory, and they think he's got it back now and remembers their secret identities. And that's where it all comes from. Well, there's a twist, and of course that's not it. They start to set up like Deathstroke's protecting this guy. Really doesn't matter to things. The main problem here is like all the characters of the Justice League, they don't act like themselves. Like, the Flash is doing this like weird memory wiping thing. That's very un-Flash-like. Batman really acts un-Batman-like. Superman really acts un-Superman-like. It's just like the characters exist just for the plot point. It looks like, he wanted to set up this mystery, Brad Meltzer did, but just like threw the characters in that had to. So here's another wife of one of the characters, or she's an ex-wife or whatever, and she looks like she's going to die. And she doesn't actually. She gets saved by the Atom in time here, and over the course of things, they're looking through things. They eventually capture Dr. Light and all that. There's not, this is really long. It's drawn out too. They drew this out big time. Lots of fights, lots of trying to find him. There's another subplot where Robin's talking to his dad. He's outed his hero identity to his dad. And then his dad gets killed in the middle of this too. So it's a lot of like, we're going to kill supporting characters for shock and suspense values at this point. And it's just that's like he's relying on that to make it an interesting story, because it's really not an interesting story without that. And with the characters acting so bizarrely brazen and anti-heroic throughout this entire thing, it's just painful to read. This is like really rough. Well, we find out that the Mrs. Adam here actually was responsible for the death, and she shrunk and tried to mess with the girl, and then accidentally just caused a brain aneurysm or something like that while doing that, and then she hoped that they could get back together from that. So she's crazy, and that is that, and that was kind of the end of it as they capture her and all that, and the Justice League's kind of left in a state of distrust and very not heroic. And so that's that. Really hated it. I mean, the art was fine. There's nothing wrong with it. But just that storyline, I mean, they just like I said, he just didn't get the characters, didn't push the characters the right direction. Everything was a plot device for the sake of being a plot device. The twist was kind of cringy. And, I mean, that's modern comic storytelling in a nutshell. So I give this like a 5 out of 10. I'm going to give that generously for the art. I think this was some pretty lousy storytelling that really needed some editorial. They really shouldn't have put a big event like this into this kind of a situation. But I guess it leads up to Infinite Crisis or whatever, so maybe that makes it all worth it. Who knows? All right, hit that like and subscribe button. Let me know what you think about this. We'll be back soon.